Guys, it's Benny. For the last week, we have been doing nonstop interviews with every expert we can possibly find to drag onto the program and say what the hell's going on with the Epstein crisis inside of the Trump administration. We do this because we care. We do this not to bully anyone or hurt anybody, but we do it like a friend at a bar, right? And you're drunk and you're about to get in a fight and you're about to get your ass kicked. And we're trying to hold people back. We're trying to prevent that from happening. We don't want our friend to get their ass kicked, you know? We have many friends in the administration. But right now, I mean, the reality is, and we were hearing it this weekend with 7,000 members of Trump's hardcore MAGA base screaming that they want the Epstein list disclosures and that they're not satisfied with the way that it's been handled from inside of the administration. Now, many people have said, how could they have possibly handled it like this? They're not dumb. I know this as a matter of fact. These people aren't dumb. They're not suicidal with their careers. They want to have careers. They had careers before the Trump administration. They want to have careers after. So I handle it this way. Exactly. The best explanation that was given to me was maybe it was an intentional leak by the deep state. Maybe the deep state got their hands on a memo that hadn't been released yet and released it in order to embarrass the Trump administration. Now, I'm not exactly sure about that. But I do know this. There are massive holes blown in the explanation of, shut up, bro, move along, we looked into it. We released all the evidence that we could give you, and it's conclusive. Here you go. Here's the tape of Jeffrey Epstein's cell. Well, actually, it's not his cell. It's his tier. Well, actually, it's not his tier. It's just the entry to the actual floor of the prison that he was held on. Can you see Jeffrey Epstein's cell? No. Can you see his tier door? No. Do people go in and out without explanation? Yeah. Are there missing minutes? Yeah. Is the footage doctored? Yeah. Here we go. Metadata shows that the FBI's raw Jeffrey Epstein prison video was modified. Come on, man. Again, at this point, you know, there's a missing minute inside of that video, the video that they released, and we've covered that extensively. At this point, you have to just say, like, you know, is this an op? Are they trying to purposefully embarrass the administration? And by they, I mean either some deep state agent, somebody who's pulling or leaking behind the scenes, somebody who's not giving full evidence or information to Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi. I don't know. You know, I don't know. I've been asking, quite frankly. I've gotten some weird responses. You know, the point is, here's the response I have gotten. This has not shaken down, obviously, the way that they wanted it to. And there might be some foul play afoot. Let's read. Metadata shows that the FBI's raw Jeffrey Epstein prison video was modified. Oh no. There's no evidence in the footage there's no evidence the footage was deceptively manipulated, but ambiguities around how the video was processed may further fuel conspiracy theories about Epstein's desk. Okay. Let's read. United States Department of Justice this last week released 11 hours what are described as a full raw surveillance footage from the camera positioned near Jeffrey Epstein's prison cell the night before he was found dead. The release was intended to address conspiracy theories about Epstein's apparent suicide in federal custody, but instead of putting those suspicions to rest, it fueled them further. Metadata embedded in the video and analyzed by Wired and independent video forensic experts show that rather than being a direct export of the prison's surveillance system, the footage was modified using professional editing tools Adobe Premiere Pro. The file appears to have been assembled from at least 2 different source clips, saved multiple times, exported, and then uploaded to the DOJ's website rather than presented as raw footage. Experts caution that it is unclear exactly what was changed, that the metadata does not necessarily prove deceptive manipulation, but it is strange, not standard practice, especially if you're just releasing the raw evidence. The video may have simply been processed for public release using available software, with no modifications beyond stitching together the clips, but the absence of a clear explanation for the processing of the file used professional editing software complicates the Justice Department's narrative. In a case already clouded by suspicion, the ambiguity surrounding the file process is likely to provide fresh fodder for conspiracy theorists. Yep. Any aspect of the official story that isn't fully explained will be co-opted. The author who writes about conspiracy theories is an extremist. So whatever your flavor of Epstein conspiracy does, the video will help bolster it. 4 months leading up to the joint DOJ memo FBI published on Monday, Pam Bondi had promised the release of records related to Epstein, raising expectations exponentially high, I guess. potentially incriminating details that might surface and disgrace financiers' deaths and ties to powerful individuals. However, rather than revealing that information, the memo just said, "Shut up and go away." Epstein was found dead in his Manhattan prison cell on August 10th, 2019. He died by suicide while waiting trial on sex trafficking charges. To support its conclusion, the FBI reviewed surveillance footage overlooking the common area of the special housing unit in the Metropolitan Correction Center where Epstein was held. The FBI enhanced the footage by adjusting contrast, color, and sharpness, and released both the enhanced and what it described as a raw version. Both versions of the video appear to have been processed using Adobe to include much of the same metadata. According to the FBI, anybody who entered the area containing Epstein's cell during the relevant time frame would have been visible on the camera. That's not true. Working with two independent video forensic experts, Wired examined a 21 gigabyte file released by the DOJ using metadata tool. Reporters analyzed the exchange file format and identified signs of processing. The raw file shows clear signs of having been processed using an Adobe product. Yeah. Okay. So you get the point. It's just not good. Am I saying that they, and this was, oh man, this is an old school Wired post that's just so excellent. It was published over close to a year ago. They tracked all of the Epstein clients using the metadata on phones, the visitors to Little St. James. They were able to track them back to their homes. It's wild, crazy reporting here by Wired. I wish that the federal government did more of this. What's the point? The point is that nobody even tried to explain this to us. Like, do you understand? Like, this is some of the most sought after pieces of evidence and story that the American public has seen in a very long time. And there was no press conference. Nobody was answering questions. Nobody even signed the damn memo. Nobody stood up for the video and explained it at all. What we got was insane, nonsensical explanation about the missing minutes. I'm wheezing. They didn't even clear the metadata. Goodness, it was just sloppy. Metadata shows FBI's raw file was modified. Goodness gracious. There is no evidence the footage was deceptively manipulated, but whatever. The cover-up is enormous. Metadata shows the FBI Jeffrey Epstein prison video was very likely modified. You are now just learning that the metadata was modified in the Epstein video. You have to be effing kidding me. Some of these people are very strong allies of MAGA. It just seems silly. It seems silly. The cameras were broke that night. Nothing to see here. Yeah. It just looks unprofessional. If you're going to do some effery, please remember to remove the metadata. They didn't even wipe the metadata? You need metadata for that? Full stop, fire Pam Bondi now. Video and metadata reviewed by Wired and independent experts show that the video was edited in Adobe. Epstein metadata edited alert. According to Wired, it's unclear what exactly was changed, and that the metadata does not prove deception or manipulation. Could simply be stitching two clips together. Rookie error, if so, because the FBI specifically stated that they were looking to avoid the appearance of editing. Goodness gracious. This was one that you shouldn't or couldn't screw up, but it did get screwed up. And so now we have to ask the question, how do you clean it up? And it's pretty obvious. You just have to release everything. It doesn't prove that they edited the video, but it doesn't not prove that, it gives the illusion that you did edit it, right? And what we were promised was all the raw files, and we were promised all the other files. And now even the one piece of evidence that was given, which was that prison video, that's the one piece of evidence they decided to give, not even that anyone can trust. Too many holes in the story. It's like Swiss cheese. So better just throw it out and start over. Start releasing it. It's your boy, by name, like, share, and subscribe.